What up? It's your boy KJ, the host of the Broadcast Podcast SL Sports Language, here giving you the livest, latest news information about sports. And let me tell you this, if you got a different opinion, debate me about it. If you disagree with what I said, debate me about it. Hold on. If you don't like what I said, debate me about it! Speaking of debate me about it, put it in the comment section. Hold on, comment section, yeah, like, comment, subscribe, so you can get your latest news information with SL Sports Language. Now, today, we're here to talk about my man Shedeur Sanders, Primetime Jr., or aka wannabe Mr. Primetime Jr., just trying to be like his daddy. Must be the money, but the money ain't really getting to the money, and the checks ain't really checking, and the math ain't really mathing. With the 4-quarterback hunt, the QB hunt with the Browns, with my man Kenny Prickett, Gabriel, or Kenny Pritchett or Prickett, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but Kenny, Gabriel, the veteran Joe Flacco, and with your main man, Shedeur Sanders being at the low totem pole. Let's be honest, being at the low totem pole, starting at the low totem pole, and then Deshaun Watson, which was one of the worst free agency signings, worst free agency pickups that Browns and NFL history has ever seen coming out of surgery. I mean, listen, I don't think Deshaun Watson's going to be a Brown for too long, in multiple reasons. For one, he got drafted in the 5th round. For two, the NFL is trying to put him on notice and expose him that this is our league, that you're to run this, and you're not going to come here running this. And for three, the owner didn't even want him. Yes, I said it. Jimmy Haslam and the Haslams did not want to get and pick up my main man, Deshaun Watson, which further lets me know that the owners was in on this, I wouldn't say debauchery or appalling situation. I wouldn't say it was appalling, but really a public, I guess you can say, a public humiliation, and also a public exposing to show that you're really not the best QB that you think you are. And also, we're just going to make an example out of you that we don't want to pick you up. We don't want to get a person like you. We're not saying a player like you, because we know you can play, even though you may not be the best of the best, but we don't want to get a person like you. Cocky, arrogant, really only cares about himself in terms of the way he plays, but not only the way he plays, because he's not a selfish quarterback. He can throw the ball, but it's the way Shedeur Sanders acts off the field. He's not a troublemaker. It's the way he throws his team off of the bus, and probably also revenge for his dad, the way he acted. They probably trying to let Shedeur Sanders know, you're not like your daddy. Your daddy, we only took his bad mouth and we took his mouth, and the way he acted in the media is because he can back it up with actual playing. He can actually play ball, but you're not really as good as your dad. You're not even Hall of Fame caliber, and we're not finna pick you up when you make your statements at the draft workouts, at the draft combine, saying, if the teams that don't pick me up, that's gonna be their mistake. Or when they pick me up, they need to change their whole organization when it comes to picking me up, because I'm the one that's gonna be a game changer. Making it seem like the organization should listen to you. Making it seem like the organization should bow down to Shedeur Sanders because he's gonna change the franchise. Making it seem like, yeah, they better pick me up. And let me get y'all with the facts first, because I'm getting too opinionated right now. KJ, cool off, because I'm kind of excited about this topic and more topics. So there's gonna be videos dropping today, and there's gonna be some videos dropping tomorrow. So y'all stay tuned, man. SL Sports Language ain't going nowhere, baby. So what we're going to get into today is about Shedeur Sanders being a low totem pole and him possibly not being around for too long, and here's the reasons why. So for one, recently in the news, listening to videos like Matt B. Gray, looking up information, like whether it be Yahoo Sports, ESPN, NFL website, you can look this up yourself, but we all remember what happened with my main man Shedeur Sanders, his draft party. He thinking he was expecting to get picked in the 1st round. You know, you seeing players get drafted at the 1st round. Him having a whole ballroom set up with all the caps, thinking he gonna get the 1st round. Then him dropping from the 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round. Then him getting them pray calls from the affiliates of these teams, talking, which was childish, by the way, getting their phone numbers, or Shedeur Sanders' phone number talking about some, oh yeah, we were waiting for you, buddy, we gonna pick you up. And then that was a joke, which became a scandal, and then the team got fined, and then him finally getting picked up by the Browns. It just had to be the Cleveland Browns pick Shedeur Sanders up. Had to be. This is like Johnny Manziel over again. Hold on, let me not jinx it, but it's looking like that. This is like RG3 over again. Robert Griffin III. Hold on, let me not jinx it. This is like all the other quarterbacks that they drafted in the past and didn't plan out. First of all, fun fact, when the last time I had a quarterback that actually planned out? Was it Bernie Kosar? That's it? Come on, man. Stop it. And that was like, what, the 80s? So, I say that to say this. When they picked up Shedeur Sanders out of the 5th round, and we all know why, was because the way Shedeur Sanders carried himself. Now, like I said, the job combine and the job workouts, when they asked him, what should the franchise do when they pick you up, or what's going to happen when the franchise pick you up, and he makes statements like, oh, the franchise that doesn't pick me up, first off, they'll be kicking themselves, hurting themselves in the foot, or shooting themselves in the foot. Pretty much insinuating that it'll be the mistake if they don't pick him up, cocky and arrogance. And then him saying things like, oh, in order to pick me up, y'all gonna have to change y'all franchise around. First of all, Shedeur Sanders, you haven't played the down yet in the league, which is $1 billion league. Second of all, you already messing up team chemistry, and you already putting a bullseye on your back. Now, if you may want to come into the league with a bullseye on your back to help you with competitive spirits and a competitive mind state, like, yeah, I'll take all them hits because I really want this, and I'm really gonna show y'all can push me around, and I'm gonna work hard and really put in that work. Okay, I get that, Shedeur, but to say things that can mess up team chemistry for the ownership to look at you sideways like, what? You telling me we gotta change our organization just to pick you up? We gotta move things around just to pick you up? You're gonna have not only backup quarterbacks, but the starting quarterbacks, the starting wide receivers, the tight ends, the defensive side of the ball is gonna be looking at you like, bro, who the hell you think you are? This is our team. You need to learn and do your rookie due diligence, Ricky. You need to learn how to come in and respect the game and respect this team and organization, young boy. We don't care if you got Sanders on your last name. We don't care if you was doing your thing in college. It's not like you was a Heisman runner-up. You didn't even make it to the top 3 finalists. And a person can look at Shedeur Sanders and be like, well, dog, you only really had old boy who was wide receiver. You only really had my man Travis Hunter. So without him, what do you really got? You know what I mean? So it's really one of those type of situations to where it's like, bro, Shedeur already came into the league, or before he got into the league, with a bad attitude, with a bad reputation. And like I said, not for what he did on the field, nor not necessarily did what he did off the field. It was really in the media, his cocky, his arrogance. Even the way he carried himself on the field with him having gold chains on and him trying to be a rapper. Bro, when people draft a player, they want somebody like the Victor Cruz, or they want somebody like a I don't know, I guess I don't want to say Big Ben, because he got off the field situations with the whole allegations in court and stuff like that. Or like an Eli Manning or Peyton Manning, or who else can I say? But they want somebody who's chill. They don't want all that brash and bravado. You know what I mean? And if you do come with that, you got to be able to back it up, but at least play your game. AI wasn't AI until he got to the league. You see what I'm saying? Michael Vick wasn't Michael Vick until he got to the league. And I'm not saying Michael Vick wasn't Michael Vick, like in terms of he had a name. He didn't have a name. You know, he had a name. But when Michael Vick came into the league, he wasn't all flashy and brash and bold. And Michael Vick never became like that. But even if he did, he can back it up, because the way he was rushing for so many yards. You feel me? Jalen Hurts didn't become Jalen Hurts until he got to the league. And I'm not saying you can't wear jewelry, dog. I'm not saying you can't be flashy or bold. What I'm saying is you was already doing the most. Now, that's the facts. Here's another fact. The owner of the Cleveland Browns, when they had picked him up, it wasn't, listen, y'all, I'm thinking when Cleveland Browns drafted Shedeur Sanders, I'm thinking, all right, they're gonna give him a chance. This may be a good pickup. This may be a good sneaky pickup, right? That's what they call it, like a nice little sneaky pickup. Somebody that drops in a late round, like a Giannis, who's the 15th pick, like other players like Kobe Bryant, who's the 13th pick, or like Tom Brady, arguably the best quarterback, who was coming out the 7th round. We thinking like, oh, like he's a good, good, nice sneaky pickup that we didn't have to pay much out of the pocket, who became a star. But the owner didn't even want him. It was really Andrew Berry. If I'm not mistaken, that's his name. Andrew Berry, the GM. And you can look this up. Jimmy Haslam, this is facts. Jimmy Haslam stated that this was not his idea to pick up Shedeur Sanders. He said if he would have got that call earlier that Friday, if I'm not mistaken, it said in the report, if they would have ran by him, if they would have called him, he would have told them, no way, Jose. He would have told them he was not with that idea of picking up Shedeur Sanders. Because I'm assuming his off-the-field ways with the media. And then he also went on to say in the interview, he said, but the people that was around him, the organization, we have good people around us, the organization, so he just went along with it. This is what he's insinuating. He's insinuating that he just went along with it. He went along with the idea that, okay, if you guys want to go ahead and pick up Shedeur Sanders, if you know what your guys doing, then I'll go along with it and go with Shedeur Sanders and pick up and go with this plan. Even though they already got 3 other quarterbacks ahead of them, plus the whole Deshaun Watson situation, which they just going to have to pay him because Deshaun Watson may not even want to play for Cleveland again. But it was really Andrew Berry. So we got Shedeur Sanders getting picked up in the late round. We got Andrew Berry, the GM, who wanted to pick up Shedeur Sanders. And we got Jimmy Haslam, who was not with the idea of picking up Shedeur Sanders. And then we got the reasons why, that because Shedeur Sanders, his reputation, and also I think what really killed him is really him talking bad about his teammates. If you guys remember when Shedeur Sanders started playing for the Colorado Buffs, he was really throwing his teammates under the bus. Especially like that UCLA game. After that game, I'm assuming. And his dad. When he was saying things like, oh, I'll tell you we can paint a new picture. We need a new O-line. That's the new picture. And then Shedeur Sanders saying the same thing, insinuating, I don't really need to tell y'all, what we need to do for real. Because y'all can see it, with this O-line that we got. Come on, man. You don't throw your team under the bus. You don't do that. You do that in-house. You do that in the locker room. You don't do that, man, in public. You say things like, listen, we just got to work on things. Would it be the running game? Would it be the throwing game? Would it be what I got to do? And things like that. You word it a certain kind of way. You don't throw your team under the bus. And, I'm not going to keep repeating the same thing, but I believe Shedeur Sanders is going to have to change his acts in terms of the media and in terms of the way he talks about his teammates. Because what really dropped him in the late round was his arrogance, his being overconfident / cockiness. You can be confident, but you can't be too cocky. The way he acted in the media, and also the way he acted in the pre-draft combine, thinking that he was bigger than the program, thinking that it'd be a privilege for him to get for the teams to draft him. Not him being drafted, but for the teams to draft him instead of being the other way around. So now let's get into the opinion. Here's why Shedeur Sanders won't be around for too long. And here's why I don't think this scheme is going to work. For one, he won't be around for too long because I don't think he's going to get the opportunity. You got the owner saying that we didn't want to pick you. Yeah, the owner does make statements, and he did make statements saying, well, Shedeur Sanders is doing what he needs to do, and he's coming to practice, and he's training, and we'll see how it goes. But, bruh, that could just be words for the media. Jimmy Haslam can be saying, man, we just doing this. As soon as we have a chance to get this kid out of here, let's get him out of here. Because they probably don't even want to hear it from his dad. Because you know Dion gonna say something. Prime time, Dion if need be, which I understand. But that's another reason why this may not work, because they're not trying to hear it from his dad. And then you got to think about it also, too. Shedeur Sanders is like, I think he's the 4th string quarterback. I'll have to do my research, but I believe he's the 4th string quarterback. Come on, man. It's a 4-man QB hunt for the starting job. Joe Flacco, the veteran, Gabriel, Kenny, and you. Why would they give you a chance? You might get a few snaps in preseason, but from what it's looking like somebody gonna have to get injured. God forbid. Knock on wood. But it's looking like somebody gonna have to get injured for you to even get a job, brother. And you still the 4th string. Unless you finish the season being 2nd string, which I highly doubt it, based on these statements. And then with Andrew Berry's not the end-all be-all. He still got a man to answer to, and that's the owner. So if the owner comes down on Andrew Berry, it can be one of those situations where he can pull Shedeur to the side and be like, hey, bro, I'm not going to lose my job for you. Yeah, I drafted you because I seen something in you. But if the owner's saying, bro, this ain't going to work, and he don't want to keep you around, and he ain't want you in the first place, it's going to be me or you. And I'm going to choose me every single time, and you're going to have to walk. You're going to have to go, Shedeur. We're going to have to trade you. And that's what it's looking like. Because, first of all, why would Andrew Berry even draft Shedeur Sanders? Maybe because of potential. I don't know. Maybe because he felt like he fell to the 5th round, so we ain't got to pay him as much, depending on the rookie contract. Because they not paying him a lot compared to what he was getting with the Colorado Buffaloes, I don't think, with the NIL money. And second of all, like I said, the owner, if Shedeur Sanders does anything wrong that the owner doesn't like, you know what I mean, right or wrong, whether it be Shedeur Sanders say something in the media, if he doesn't learn from his media mistakes that he made, being all overly confident, being too cocky, being too arrogant, throwing his teammates under the bus, or throwing the staff under the bus, like, oh, they won't let me have my way like how I did in college, or, man, if they put me on the field, things will change. Bro, all it takes is pull Andrew to the side and be like, hey, dog, this dude that you picked up, this ain't gonna work. So if this keep going on, it's gonna be your job on the line, and he gonna get traded. So you gonna have to decide, get him in line or send him off. And that's what Andrew Berry will have to do if this plan does not work. And personally, man, my opinion about Shedeur Sanders, I don't really think he's really a top-notch quarterback. He's nice, but after we gonna have to watch this season, we're just gonna have to see. Because I don't even think Shedeur Sanders is really like that for real. Because look who he had. You had Travis Hunter, dog. So you can just throw it. We barely seen the Colorado Buffs running game. We barely seen the tight ends really put in work. And all you had was Travis Hunter and, oh boy, I forgot his name, the other wide receiver, slot receiver from Florida, who got drafted by the Panthers. So, I mean, yeah, did y'all win 6 games? Yes. Did y'all do pretty good? Yes. But I'm still didn't forget about that other season where y'all did abysmal. Y'all barely even won a couple of games. Y'all had lost that game against Stanford that should have won, but oh boy, the wide receiver had pretty much scored the rest of the points on y'all with that major combat. And then it's like, bro, like, the way Shedeur be scrambling, he be acting like he got bricks or ankle weights. Like, he be running as if he can't pick up his knees. So his scrambling is cool, but it's alright at best. He really ain't got no speed on him. Does he have an arm? Yes. Does he have accuracy? Yes. Can he play? Yes. But then that's another thing. Can Shedeur even be coachable? Deion Sanders been coaching Shedeur Sanders since day one. And that's a fact. Even back in the reality TV days. Yeah, I said it back in the reality TV days, back when they was in Texas, where they got that good oil, where they got that good land, where it's cheaper down there, where you can live like a king, where they got the Cowboys. Come on, dog. We know what it is. He coached them in high school. He coached them at JSU. He coached them at Colorado Buffaloes. Come on, bro. So that's another test. Can he even be coachable? Maybe that's another reason why the owner didn't want to pick him. Come on, man. Is he even going to want to listen to this coaching staff? Now, it ain't been no bad news at all. Some might say it hasn't been no bad news yet, but then some might say it hasn't been no bad news at all, which is good. I say that's good. I don't want to see another brother down. All I'm saying is I don't believe this whole Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns project is going to work, especially the circumstances. Now, if luck comes into Shedeur Sanders' way and he has a chance to play, and I hope Shedeur Sanders sees this or hear this, or the Browns fans see this, to the Browns fans, give Shedeur Sanders a chance. If he plays, give him a chance to see what he can do with the ball, to see how he gonna play. It's not gonna happen overnight. But to Shedeur Sanders, I hope you're hearing this. If you get a chance to play, bro, play the best you can and be coachable and just follow the plays, and hopefully the old linemen come through. If you get a chance, play the best that you can. Now, if the old lineman don't come through, or if it doesn't work out there, and if it's not your fault, as long as you can give it the best you can, then hey, it is what it is. You have plenty of players that try to give it the best they can, and it just didn't work out. Whether it be Deshaun Jackson with the Redskins, whether it be Drew Brees and the Chargers, whether it be, I mean, it's so many examples that I can think of. Whether it be, let me think of another one. Ryan Tannehill and the tight ends. Even though Ryan Tannehill was okay, he had Derrick Henry in the backfield. Whether it be, who else? Doug Williams. with the believe it or not, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then he had left and then became a Redskin. It became a backup quarterback, which became a starting quarterback and won a Super Bowl with the Redskins. You did what I'm saying? So sometimes it's not always the player. It's just the organization, and it doesn't work out. It's not always the player. It's just the organization and the coaching staff. That whether it be bad coaching, bad GM, blase. But in this situation, it could also be just the player itself don't get the opportunity, and also the player itself being on a low totem pole, third string, fourth string, and also it can just be the player itself making some real stupid, bad media mistakes, and also the player itself not being good enough. This can be another Johnny Manziel situation. This can be another Jamarcus Russell situation. This can be another Jameis Winston situation, even though he's still in the league. But to me, Jameis Winston is a bust. Come on now, 30 reception touchdowns, also 30 reception, 30 touchdown passes, but also nearly 30 interceptions. Come on, man. So the point I'm trying to make is, in my opinion, I don't think Shedeur Sanders is that good. In my opinion, he has to mature in order for him to stay in this league, and also he has to show improve on the field, but also off the field he has to just be a better teammate. Now has there been teammates come out and say, oh, he's a bad teammate? No. But to me, is he really a good teammate? No, because we seen it. Come on, man. Who throws that O-line under the bus? Who says things like, oh, it's the O-line, then your dad says the same thing, oh, we need a new O-line, so like I said, I don't think this whole project is going to work out. I don't believe Shedeur Sanders is going to be around for too long. I don't think he's a really good enough quarterback in my eyes, but he can prove me wrong. He can prove others wrong, and also, give hope to Cleveland Browns and the organization in the city. But like I said, it's too many obstacles, the circumstances, too many things in his way. And man, I don't really see this working out. But who knows? Maybe this season it'll change, but probably not, because he's still a young boy. He's still a little puppy. He's still a rookie. Like I said before, if anything, they'll start Joe Flacco or Gabriel. I don't know about Kenny, but who knows? And he's going to have to really show and prove to the owners and really walk a fine line, especially what the owner said about you. So, it's your boy KJ, the host of the Broadcast Podcast, SL, Sports Language. The livest, latest news, information about sports. And if you got an opinion, debate me about it. If you disagree with what I said, debate me about it. Hold on. If you don't like what I said, debate me about it! By the way, speaking of debate me about it, put it in the comment section. Oh wait, the comment section, yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, so you can get your latest news and information about sports. Be expecting new content and videos tomorrow tomorrow and Monday. And hey, Mondays and Saturdays always. God bless. And we're on our way up, baby, to 1,000 subscribers. Deuces.